Have you ever wondered why Costco is so rich? Well, in fact, the method they use to make money is truly genius, right? And today we are going to be breaking it all down using microeconomics and explain how their business strategy from the start was set to be the top. And that's what they currently are. They're one of the most powerful businesses, one of the most profit making businesses in the entire world, right? So stick to the end, and we're going to essentially prove how they have made themselves into a monopoly and why that makes them so much profit, right? But let's start off with the easy stuff, right? Profit equals to revenue minus cost. So in order to maximize profit, you either have to maximize revenue or minimize cost. So let's first talk about how they are actually minimizing their costs. And they do this through a concept called economies of scale, right? And essentially what this means is that the bigger their business is, right, the more cost efficient they are at producing goods, right? So Costco is actually genius in this because they have chosen the specific consumer goods to produce that all follow these economies of scale concept, right? So they all, as you build like bigger farms, take more land, more labor, more human capital, more entrepreneurship, you will get more cost efficient goods, right? And then second, the way they maximize revenue is through us consumers, right? Us consumers see this bundle at a super low cost, right? If you don't know already, Costco, they essentially sell huge amounts of goods in terms of bundles at a very low cost, right? So we go buy them, right? But oftentimes we won't be using all those goods. So they are actually going to be selling much more goods to us than we actually will use compared to like a normal shop. So they are maximizing their revenue in that way, right? But if you think about it, Costco is only selling consumer goods, which is a type of monopolistic competition. So in the long run, they are defined to not get any economic profit. But from the start, they knew this. And so they have done everything in their power to establish themselves as a monopoly, one of the only business types that can actually make profit in the long run. So the way that they do this is through two things. First, customer loyalty, and second, the truly vast amount of high barrier startup costs that they have created. So, talking about high barrier to startup costs, they have set up infrastructure across the whole world. Anywhere you go, there's a Costco, right? So, it is super hard for other businesses to compete with this because they have to build all that infrastructure from the start. So, it's super hard to compete with that.